Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a filing from Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust. Now, I know what you're thinking, real estate trust, oh boy, but stick with me because hidden in these documents are some pretty interesting numbers that tell a story about where this company is heading and potentially whether or not it's a good direction. Before we dig in, if you are into getting easy to understand breakdowns of complicated corporate filings, make sure to subscribe and join our Discord community. You can find the link in the description below. So what are we looking at today? We're checking out their report about their net asset value, or MAV per share, as of May 31, 2025. Basically, this tells us what each share of the company was worth at that time. We are going to look at the numbers and some comparisons to see if Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust is doing well or maybe not so well. First things first, this is a Form 8K, a current report filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. These reports are used to announce major events that shareholders should know about. In this case, it's the main numbers for net asset value per share. The company reported these numbers in June of 2025, and they show the net asset value per share for different classes. There's Class B, Class R, Class J1, J2, J4, SI, and E. It may seem like alphabet soup, but let's dive into those numbers. The Class B shares had a NAV of $20.13. Class R shares were at $19.99. Class J1 landed at $20.00. Class J2 shares were valued at $19.98. Class J4 shares at $25.25 Class S shares showed $20.24. Class I shares came in at $20.1323. Finally, Class E shares had a May of $20.10. So, what does this mean? Well, these numbers are basically an estimate of what each share would be worth if the company sold all its assets and paid off all its debts. It's a snapshot of the company's financial health at that moment. Let's examine the major components that make up their net asset value. Looking at this table, we can see the different types of investments and how they contribute to the overall value. First off, commercial real estate loan investments make up a big chunk at $1,167,000. This is over $1 billion, so real estate loans are a major part of their business. Then we have investments in real estate related assets, which are $193,369,000. This includes other things connected to property like property management or development projects. Cash and cash equivalents are at a healthy $150,000 or one. On the other side, they have debts and obligations. Secured debt arrangements total $488 million. Other liabilities add up to $27,869,000. After adding up all the assets and subtracting the liabilities, the total net asset value for Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust comes to $986,600,000. With 49,144,000 outstanding shares, we now know this MV is divided between them. This is important to keep in mind as we look at the value per class. Now let's examine the net asset value as it's distributed between the different classes. This will give us a clearer snapshot of the value in each. Class B comes in at $445,728,000 with 22,140,000 shares outstanding. Class R has $88,490,000 with 4,425,000 shares. Class J1 shows 309,315,466,000 shares. Class J2 holds $65,370,000, over 3,270,000 shares. Class J4 comes in at $30,405,000 with 1,501,000 shares. Class S has $4,102,000 and 203,000 shares. Class I lands at $17,271,000 across 853,000 shares. Finally, Class E shows 25,861,000 and 1,206,000 shares outstanding. A big picture looking at just this document alone, it's difficult to tell if the company is doing good or bad. It's just a point in time. Luckily for us, this report gives us a comparison point. Here's where things get a bit more interesting. By comparing the May numbers to the prior month, April, we can start to see some trends. In April, commercial real estate loan investments were lower at $964,493,000 compared to over $1,067,000 in May. This means they made a lot of new loans in May. Cash and cash equivalents dropped from $211,660,000 in April to $150,107,000 in May, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Looks like they put money to work instead of hoarding it. Secured debt arrangements increased from $372,098 to $488,715,000. They borrowed more to make more loans. Overall, the total net asset value increased from $890,800 and $106,600,000 in May. They added almost $100 million over the month. If we focus on the different share classes, Class B went from about $401,609,000 to $445,728,000. Class R stayed relatively flat, remaining at around $88,000. Class J1 also saw growth, increasing from roughly $29,931,000 to $309,000 and $373,000 seat. Now, what does this all mean? Well, a few things stand out. Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust is heavily invested in commercial real estate loans. This is both a strength and a risk. If the real estate market does well, they do well. If it struggles, they could face problems. The company also seems to be actively managing its portfolio, increasing its lending and investments in May. This suggests they are trying to grow and take advantage of opportunities in the market. One potential concern is their increasing debt. While taking on debt can fuel growth, it also increases risk. It's important to keep any eye on how they are managing that debt. Overall, based on these quick snapshots, Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust seems to be on a growth trajectory. However, they need to carefully balance their lending with manage their debt. Real estate is very capital intensive, which will always be a dance. Alright, that's our breakdown of this SEC filing. What do you think about Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust and their approach to the market? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more easy to understand corporate reports. Also, don't forget to join our Discord community. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.